So welcome day 33, educating Farrah and Ruby, and 13 days I guess since the last video. In that time I have worked both of them probably 4 or 5 times each with what I'm about to show you. Lots of rubbing in between, and the weather of course has been not very cooperative. One thing I've got working really well on both of them here is picking up their feet. They'll both pick up all 4 feet. At least they did yesterday, and let me pick them up and hold them and pat their foot, all 4 feet. So that's pretty important to me at this stage to be able to do that. And Farrah, a little bit fussing just a little bit more than Ruby did yesterday about this. Okay, and that. There we go. Pat on it. Okay, so I'm not going to do a whole lot more with these fillies after I get them where they will lead out pretty nicely and let me walk up to them and catch them. And we're just almost there, so I'm going to send her this way. The interesting thing that I did not anticipate since the last video is Ruby has come along a lot faster than Farrah. She picked up on this lunging, and you'll see that here in a minute. She doesn't pull away when I lunge her. She'll lunge around with a loose rope. And she just kind of picked up on things quicker. And Farrah, it seems, has had more fear, which is kind of interesting. She should have moved her hip there, which is kind of interesting because in the beginning, Farrah was the calm one and Ruby was the scared one. And now they've kind of switched. And you can see just even now, she's a little bit fearful. And so I don't know the reason for that. It has caused, and there's something else there too. I don't know if you saw that. She likes to push with her shoulder, which has made it slowed down the training, because that's something I won't let her do. When she gets a little fearful, she'll come in, and it's a typical horse thing, and she wants to push with her shoulder, which has kept me from being able to teach her to move her shoulder as I was trying to do. There, I got a little bit right there. That's actually the best I've gotten from her. I think she is pretty good about moving her hip. Let's check it. I'm going to come in here and look at her hip. She moves that pretty well, but see how she wanted to push with her shoulder when she did it? So, not very good, but we're getting it. Let's try the other side. Let's try the other side, see how fearful she is. The other thing I've noticed is that I can't really do much when they're together. I have to separate them out. I had never tried to work with babies together like we've done with these, and some of you may have figured that out and said, no, that's not going to work, and it didn't. So I have to separate them out. So let's see if she'll lead a little bit here. Come on. There, a little bit. So the one thing I don't want to do is start pulling on her right here. If you do that, you'll teach them to pull back. Pull back when you're leading them and pull back when you tie them up. So you don't want to pull on them. If she does get really stuck, then what I'll do is just walk to the side, hold that real easy, steady pressure, and pull her to the side. But you can see she's leading out a little bit. So she's almost ready, I think, for me to bring in a saddle horse and start working with her a little bit, leading her around from the saddle. But overall, she's coming along okay. I need to get this a little bit better. Stepping over. You can see how she's afraid and doesn't understand what I want her to do. Okay. I'm trying to be as gentle as I can, but get her to step over. There we go. That's actually the best it's been. It's not good, but that's the best it's been, okay? So let's see where Ruby's at. This might be the first day she's let me just actually catch her like this in the open. And I tell you, something else I discovered in the last week or so was their scratch spot. In the beginning, she didn't want me to touch her here. She loves being scratched right there on her throat, and Farrah likes it right up here under her chin. And that really helps with a horse when you discover their scratch spot. And let's see if she's going to let me do this, because she's not. In the past, she's not let me just put this halter on her without making a fuss about it. Yeah, maybe we're going to be all right here. Good girl. So they're gradually getting a little bit more gentle. Gradually. There we go. Oh, that's really nice. So I'm really happy that we captured that on video, because it's the first time she's let me just stand here and put the halter on her without being upset. Okay. And let's see how she's going to do. Just lead her over this way. Come on, babe. Okay. And again, I'm not pulling on the rope. She needs to follow me. And my camera girl needs to pay attention to what I'm doing here, because my camera girl also needs to follow me. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Okay, here we go. All right. So I think first thing I'll do actually is pick up her feet, see how we're doing there. And you remember the first time I touched her leg, she didn't even want me to touch her, but I've just kind of just gently worked on it every day that I was out here anyway, each day, until they would let me hold it up here, pat it. And so to me, that's good enough for a baby. If I can clean her hooves out, then that's good enough. Okay. All right, now send her around here just a little bit. Can you back up? I like the way she looks pretty relaxed, so that's a good thing. Back up for me. Okay, that's actually in the past she's backed up because she was afraid. So now, trying to get her to back up off the pressure, she's not sure what to do because she's not afraid of me. So, you know, that's kind of good. Okay, let me send her this way. Good. Okay. Yeah, so she's pulling on me just a little bit here and didn't understand what I wanted her to do there. Okay. Okay. So my bragging on her is turning out not to be correct. I told you she was better than Farrah, and today she's not. You know, what are you going to do? I will say, with these babies, they're about 9 months old now. Once I get them, as I mentioned earlier, where they're pretty tame and will lead out pretty well, I don't do much else with them. Go this way, babe. I'm not going to do much more with them until they're 2-year-olds. You know, maybe once a month I'll come out and put a halter on them and lead them around or something, just to remind them they're in captivity. But I don't, or perhaps, you know, I might take them, pony them along on a trail ride or something. But what I typically do is in the fall of 2-year-old year, October or so, then I'll start putting a few rides on a 2-year-old. Wrong way, baby, wrong way. And I'll put 10 or 20 rides on them in the fall, turn them out for the winter, get them back up in March or April, and start, as a 3-year-old, start actually working them. Okay, so I'm pretty pleased with the way they've come along. This is day 33, but they actually have, I'm going to say, about 9 or 10 training sessions, about 10 or 15 minutes each is what it's taken to get them to this point. So I'm pretty pleased with that. I'd say they're almost ready to graduate kindergarten. So thanks for coming along.